Greetings, everybody. Welcome to the I Thrive podcast. It's your boy Sundin, Esperance. Today's not really going to be an episode for the podcast, but my take in terms of this police brutality that's been going on. I was actually, waiting till this Ahmaud Arbery case kind of, develop so I could speak more on it, because I like to get the facts first before speaking on some stuff. And clearly, something else just came up. Now, for the Ahmaud Arbery case, you're simply going into a construction site. Those full videos shown. He went into a pre-construction home. Nothing there for him to steal. Came out. Of course, white men gunned him down. Not cops. Nothing like that. And they shot him. I believe it was 3 shots. It was 2 of them. One was the driver, which was recording, but I don't think he was involved with them. I don't know. Maybe he's gonna say that, but I guess his life is kind of in danger each and every single day. So regardless if he goes to jail or stays out, who knows what's going to happen to him. Now, in terms of that story developing, another murder happened, and this was police brutality. But once again, it was, as most people are going to call it, white on black crime. But police brutality is what it's known as. Now, for this case, he goes by the name of George Floyd. For people that don't know much about it, they called him Big Floyd. Now what happened was Big Floyd, I guess he was at a store. It was called Cup Foods, where the co-owner, who goes by the name of Mahmoud Abu Mayale, called the cops on him. Now, I guess it was for an alleged fraud. I don't know exactly what the case was, but I presume Mahmoud was not going to call, the cops for nothing on this brother. You understand? So it's, I guess, something he saw. And look, if you have a store, if I have my own store and somebody's doing something wrong and it's out of my control, I'm going to call the cops to come and weigh it down and stuff. So, okay, he did that. Now, has he called the cops? I don't know. I presume not. Mr. Mahmoud expected that he was going to experience or see what was going to happen. But what happened was, once the cops came, and you even see a video, there's a video online where George Floyd, he was absolutely not resisting. I don't know who the first cop that was on him, but that cop that had him, very plain and simply, you could see has George Floyd in handcuffs. Seems like it's a blue Mercedes in the video, where it's George is coming around the car. He's complying. He's not resisting. He's not fighting or anything. He's not spitting on nobody. He's not saying I'm gonna kill you, nothing like that. He just seems distraught. As everybody would be. Why am I getting arrested? And he goes on against the wall. I guess the cop tells him to sit down. He sits, but regardless from what I'm explaining, he is not resisting at all. He is not doing literally nothing to even slap the guy on his face. Nothing, absolutely nothing. Now, is there a video that escalates it? Probably so. But what happened? Now, when the other cops come, now the 4 officers that got fired in this, I'm gonna go by each name. I'm going to start by, and another thing what people don't realize, there is actually a picture online where someone took a picture from kind of the back of what happened. Because if you look at the video, you only see the first cop standing around like a baboon, who knows what he was doing, and the cop who's had his knee on George Floyd's neck. What happened was there was actually 4 cops involved. The one dummy that was walking around, and then you have 2 others literally on his legs and back behind the car. You won't really see it on video, but the picture that's out, you'll see it. They took a picture. There's literally 3 guys on him. The one with his knee on the neck and 2 behind him. Now, the 4 officers involved that got fired, and I say fired because don't be shocked if you just see this thing, the attorney, whatever person in Minneapolis says, there's not much evidence to see what went on. I can't really Do not be shocked. So that's why I say fired. What happened is it was Thomas Lane, J. Alexander Quing, Tu Tao, and the one that had his neck on his knee on George Floyd's neck, Derek Chauvin. Now, here's the crazy thing. Some people may say, well, these are probably new cops. They were scared. They don't really have experience. They didn't know what they were doing. And so they had to do what they had to do. Okay, we'll figure that out and we'll see. Derek Chauvin, he was hired in 2001. We're here in 2020. That's well enough experience as a cop to know exactly what you are doing. Then you have Tu Tao, the dummy, that was walking around in the video, left and right, who I don't know what he was doing. He was hired in 2008. So those two, they had enough experience to know exactly what they were doing. J. Alexander Quang, he was hired in 2017, and Thomas Lane, who aren't going to be spoken about much because they were the two ones behind the cars in the video. Now, Lane was hired in 2019 and Quang hired in 2017. Regardless of what day they were hired and stuff, it is very important to acknowledge they were hired in the first place. If they are hired, because I know to be a cop, you can't have any type of criminal record at all. And they ask you a lot of crazy questions before they hire you. But these four, they were hired. Now, Derek Chauvin is, people will say Derek Chauvin, the one who had his knee on his neck, is the one that killed George Floyd. To me personally, each and every single one of those officers killed George Floyd. As an officer, forget the fact that your partner, your brother is doing his job. You have to understand right from wrong. You have to understand what's sickening and you know what's okay. I understand what you're doing. It's like a parent that's beating their kid. If a parent is beating their kid, you know, I don't mind, you know, pow, 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 beat the kid, make sure they get right. But then there goes on, there's abuse. You know, now you're starting to, like, here's your kid's 5 and you really, like, you're throwing haymakers. He's going to die eventually, or she's going to die eventually. You understand? Elbows, knees, you're just punching and brutalizing. The kid will die. You understand? In this situation, you have Derek Chauvin, who completely abused authority, and I'm going to prove it to you and show you how and why. And Tao, if you're watching this, what were you doing? What were you really doing? Like, the person's on the ground saying he can't breathe. If someone says they can't breathe, that's, you know, automatic panic for, yeah, he can't breathe, give him some air. Something. They didn't do that. Now, Derek Chauvin, here's the crazy part. There's this, I guess it's like a police news reporting thing of Minneapolis. It's called Care 11. Now, they identified a lot of things about these 4 officers. First things first is we're going to start with Derek Chauvin, the one who had the knee on George Floyd's neck. Derek Chauvin, he was subject to 13 complaints before this happened. 13 complaints. Now, I don't know what people's ethics are at their jobs, but the jobs I've been at, it's usually 3 strikes. There's strike 1, strike 2, okay, strike 3, bro, you have to go. He was subject to 13 complaints. How does somebody have a job after 13 complaints? How? That's something that's this is news to me. I was used to 3. Some companies, they don't even give you 3 chances. It's just 1. You do 1 thing and you're gone. Now what happened was, since those 13 complaints, it was obviously since 2003, each and every single one of those complaints were closed without discipline. So pretty much, those who didn't understand what I just said, nothing happened. He whatever happened during those complaints, nothing. He didn't get disciplined. There was no justice, nothing that was done. 13 complaints for 1 person. It's not 13 combined within Derek Chauvin, Tu Tao, J. Alexander Quang, and Thomas Lane. It's 13 complaints for 1 guy. And to top it off, the guy who has his knee on George Floyd's neck. 13 complaints. Don't forget that. Now, obviously, that he had those complaints from 2003, he happens to win an award for Medal of Valor or Valor for his services in 2009. He wins an award for, I guess, his job. A man who received 13 complaints since 2003 wins an award. All right. Now, despite that, he was involved in already 2 police shootings. The first one, it was regarding somebody named Wayne Reyes, who was suspect of stabbing. The police department said Reyes was shot and killed after he refused to drop a sawed-off shotgun on official commands. So he didn't want to drop the gun. He wasn't listening. And moreover, they shot him. That's what the police department's saying. After seeing that video of Derek Chauvin on the cop, I don't know what to believe from them, coming from their mouth. That's the first one. Now, the second one was Latrell, I don't know if it's Latrell Tolles or Tolles. According to police, Chauvin was responding to a domestic violence call and struggled with Tolles, who survived. So I don't know what other struggle this Derek Chauvin had. Whoever this, as this Derek Chauvin person is, I don't know how he wasn't fired in the first place before this situation that happened. When somebody has 13 complaints, it's like even in sports. Like, I believe some coaches, if it's 1 turnover, you're almost coming off. Like, after 13 and the person's not coming off, shoot. So, unless it's Messi or Ronaldo, even them, I don't know. Some coaches, they won't have that fear of taking them off. But after 13 complaints, he didn't get fired, and now we're here today. Despite all of this, both shootouts, they were justified, of course, and as you can see, he went freely. Now, Tu Tao, the dummy walking in the video, left, and I'm telling you, pure dummy, just pure dummy. I don't know what. I'm trying to understand what his job was. What was he really trying to do? Like, he was literally just there walking back and forth, hearing the person say they can't breathe, and you don't tell your brother, your partner, nothing. I thought your brother is supposed to keep it real with him. Huh? Your sister, you're supposed to keep it real with your sister, no? But I guess they didn't want to get embarrassed, whatever the case was. This baboon, he was actually subject to complaints as well. He was subject to, I believe, it was 6 complaints. And you know what was crazy? One of them was still open. One of the complaints, they were still open. And he was a defendant in a lawsuit. And guess what it was? Excessive force. The city paid it out to the victim, $25,000. So a man that was there doing nothing was subject to 6 complaints. One of them still being open, but still he's out there roaming, doing whatever, doing his job. Now, within the other 2, in terms of lung or anything, there wasn't anything found on them. They just started, so be it. But despite it all, here's what I just, my take on all this. I just don't want people to be shocked if you see nothing happen, really, in terms of these officers get fired. Whoever the court people are in the States, I don't know how it goes in the States, but the attorney, the judge, the courts, however they're going to do it, don't be shocked if you see that they say, oh, there's not enough evidence, or these officers get their job back. Especially the other 2 that didn't really have anything involved in it. Don't be shocked. Don't be shocked if you see Derek Chauvin, the one who had his knee on George Floyd's neck, get his job back. Do not be shocked. Do not be shocked. This has been going on for years before I was born, and this has been going on for years as I was born. It makes no sense. Because all these things are getting filmed and everybody's able to see what's going on, my question is, what's being done to make things better? Now, am I going to hate white people for the absolutely? Look, I'll be a fool if I were to tell you right now, hey, everybody, the white man is the devil. I'll be a fool right now to tell you, hate the white man, don't like them, all of them are disgusting, they're mean, they're all the same. I would be a fool to tell you that. What I'm simply saying is, because of a situation of what a white man did, I'm not going to hate every single white man I see. I'm not going to tell anybody stay away from the white man. I'm going to tell people stay away from that type of character. Would I like to kill that deed the officer did? Absolutely. I like to kill the deed. You understand? But it's not going to, once again, it's not going to make me hate somebody else. In terms of situations like this, you have an opportunity. We all have an opportunity to come together and bring justice for Big Floyd. Now, the fact that there's a petition being signed, I'm going to give you information on that soon. But the fact that there has to be a petition signed to get this all pushed, just to get the cops fired and stuff like that. I don't know what to say after that. If you need a petition for murder that happened live on camera, I don't know what more to say on that. If somebody's telling you, I can't breathe, and even if you guys, whoever, if you see the video, this officer had no shame in the fact that the person's recording. You know, you would have thought that we would have said, yo, stop recording now, stop it. You take that video off right now. He did even more. He was like, kind of like floating a bit, pinning him down with his knee, pinning him down. And George Floyd is saying, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't. Like, the officer, does he not speak English? I don't understand. If somebody says they can't breathe, the goal is to allow them to breathe. The goal is to allow them to get some air. On top of it, you had 2 other cops behind you. One with his knee on his back, and I guess the other one with his knee on his legs. And it's 4 of you. It's 4 of you there. 4 of you. You can't tell me you have 4 police officers. They can't contain 1 man? You're sick. You're joking now. Then you can't be a cop. You cannot be a cop. Clearly, none of them have any communication skills. Clearly, and you know what? I'm starting to believe that there's like people who are just, they're actually killers inside. You know, they're actually honestly, they have that racism driven in them. They want to do it in the most quiet way possible. I say quiet because if you're just racist and blunt and I have a gun right now, okay, they're gonna call the cops on me. But if I put that uniform on, who are they gonna call? You understand? I'm really starting to think these, and look, not even a family friend a few years ago, he said it. I'm not going to say no names on that, but he said, simply put, there are actual racist cops, but it's not the fact that the ones that are out there doing the job, it's the ones that hire them. So there's like another level of cops that are even more racist than the ones that they hire. And they know the ones that they hire are racist. Now, what everybody, if you have a problem with this type of deed that was done, I'm with you. I understand, regardless if you're black, white, Chinese, brown, whatever the case is. But don't hate every single white person simply because this white cop and this Tao, which is Chinese, Vietnamese, wherever he's from, and the other ones did this to a black man. Don't go and hate every single white person around you. That is not what I'm pushing. What I'm pushing is for you to understand the act that happened and the character that did that. Was the character absolutely white? Yes. And is it constantly happening to someone that's black? Yes. But until things are going to get done in terms of we as a people do something together to stop this, it's going to keep going over and over and over and over and over again. Now, if you're wondering what it is you can do for this, it's there's a website you can go on. It's called justiceforbigfloyd.com. I repeat, justiceforbigfloyd.com. You can go on the website. Once you go on the website, you will be able to sign a petition. You put your name and all this and that. I believe you could tag it on Instagram, on your post and everything. Get what you can get done at least. If there's something you know you can do, get it done. Don't just post this on your Instagram story just to show people, oh, you feel bad or you're involved. Actually do something that could help, bring justice. So justice can be served. So these 4 cops, it was plain murder. And every single cop that was there involved is a witness. You see what's crazy? When a shooting happens, if I don't even know the person and I see it and I go the other way, I am considered a witness. All 4 of those police officers killed George Floyd slowly and on camera. And the crazy part is they may get away with it. Who knows what else they got away with? Who knows before this? And the reason why there's such an outrage, the reason why they're going to be more, act like they're going to do something about this is only because it was on video. That's probably the same thing with the Ahmaud Arbery case. Ahmaud Arbery died in February, but how did the person get arrested 2 months after? Literally, when a call gets called on a black person, and then they say, hey, I see 2 black guys on the street, the phone's down, all cops are there, hasta pronto. And now they catch them. They say, oh, you seem to fit the description. Come with me. Put them in the back seat of the police car. The black young boy is saying, I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing. Why am I here? Now they end up having to go to jail. The cop comes and tells him, hey, you're going to have to stay in jail overnight. After there was no evidence, nothing found, he's going to have to stay in jail overnight. And that overnight becomes 2, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, or who knows how many years. Till this day, there are still innocent black men who were vindicated, who were in jail for absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. But then when it's a white man, when something happens to him, it's a whole different story. It should not be this way. I don't encourage this at all. It has to be justice for everything. If a white man kills and the black man kills the same exact way, there has to be punishment the same exact way. It can't be the black man gets found with a pound of weed or cocaine and he's sentenced to 25 years to life. The white man kills somebody, shoots him, right, broad daylight, on camera, all of that. And then all he gets is a bond, or he could bail himself out, or he could just, a 1 year, 2 years, 6 months. You remember when that, I forgot his name, but that boy who went, I believe it was a South Carolina church, he went and shot up the church. Did you see how they were treating him? Did you see they were just bringing him nice and calm, walking with him, chilling with him? And here you have George Floyd, who simply, it was a simple call. which was on alleged fraud, and that's what happens to him. Come on now, come on. You have to stop this. And those of you who are saying there's no such thing as a racist cop, you know you're foolish. You know you're just talking foolish talk. There's been racism every single place, but now these police officers, now they're abusing it. It's like, you know what? Hey, what can we do now? What can we do today? What? Hey man, who can we kill today? It's crazy. It is crazy. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Look, once again, it is justiceforbigfloyd.com. Sign the petition. If you have it on your gram, try to get it to post it around so your friends can see it too, and their friends can see it. Once again, and look, the person that called Mahmoud Abu Mayale, like, look, please don't look at it on rage in his end. You know, he just did a simple phone call to the people who are supposed to be protecting and serving. That's it. So we can't blame him on potential, oh, this is his fault. If he didn't call, this would have happened in the first place. If there was something George Floyd was doing wrong and he wasn't supposed to do, and he wanted to call the cops, he has all rights to. It's his store. He has to protect his store. But we don't need to go and put the blame on him and try to go after him and kill him or whatever the case is. Right now, my focus is these 4 officers who may get away with this. That's where my focus is at, and that's where yours should be as well. Anyways, it's your boy Sundin Esperance. I hope you're doing well. I hope everything is good. Take this with love. Nothing to really promote on this episode, man. This is all focused on just justice for Big Floyd. That's what I'm promoting. Justice for Big Floyd and everybody that this happens to. I could literally go I could probably have just an episode that lasts maybe a day just by saying names of police brutality. That's how much it's happening. But it happens both ways, but it's going crazy right now. This is too much. This is too much. So please, justiceforbigfloyd.com. I repeat, justiceforbigfloyd.com. It's your boy Sundin Esperance of the I5 podcast. You have yourself a good one. Take care. Peace be unto you all. Casting crowns, lifting hands.